Hello, everyone. Welcome to a day of my 90 days of Facebook Live. Today, I wanted to go over some of the points in this book that I saw, some of the big quotes. And so, Dr. Keith Johnson is a best-selling author, of course, and he has a great coaching program that my husband has been through. He's currently in a student in his doctoral program, and so since it's about financial fast track, I wanted to go over some key points that hopefully you will find helpful so that you can be on the financial fast track. So, um, some of the key points that I've seen in here is your history is a snapshot of your future without massive change in the present. And so basically, what he's saying is if you don't change what you're doing, then you're going to be in the same predicament in the past, right? And so, if we want change to happen, we have to change. Jim Rohn says, in order for anything to change, right, we have to change. And so, I think those are some of the key things. And one of the things that is important is I heard Myron Golden say this is that money loves speed, right? And so the issue is that we're not making money fast enough. What's happening is that we're making money slow, right? We're making money real slow. And so the thing is that all of us have probably, if we haven't already, have had $1 million go through our hands. And so the thing is that if you were to, how you can make $1 million is by working 40 years at $25,000 a year. That's $1 million, but that's over a course of 40 years at $25,000. So would you say that that person is rich if they were working? And sorry, this is not, I don't think this is in the book, but that brought up a point that I heard Myron Golden say is that if there's 40 years at $25,000, then that's $1 million, right? We wouldn't say that person is rich, right? I mean, just if we were looking at that income, right? Because again, it's so slow. Now, if you were to make $1 million in 1 month, would you say that person is rich? Well, in some people's eyes, yes. In some people's eyes, it's okay, right? So the thing is that you're able to collapse time on how much money you can actually make. And so here's something, a financial fast track question from this book. Can you produce the same income in a month that you once produced in a year? Can you do it in a week? Can you do it in a day? And the answer is yes. I've seen it. Listen, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've looked at the bank accounts where people went from earning $1 million a year to $1 million in a month to $1 million in a week and $1 million in a day and $1 million in 30 minutes. Seen it. It's been crazy. And so the thing is that you just got to expand your mindset to understand that it can happen. Bob Proctor says that what you want to do is turn your annual income into your monthly income, right? And he was able to do that. And so he goes through steps on how he was able to take a quantum leap. But you have to expand your mind and understand that there's other people doing it. The way to get exposed is to just hear about it, see that that's actually happening. And so here's some of the things as well too. If you want to double your income, quadruple your learning. It's important that you learn, like learners are earners, right? We want to make sure that if you are learning, you can definitely be earning, right? You are a creator of your financial future, not a victim of your past financial mistakes. This one is really big because it's a lot of us can sit here and say, because I made so many past financial mistakes, I cannot create a good financial future, and that is not so. I've seen people who've overcame challenges, and no matter where you are in a process, just know that you are able to change it. There was something whenever I was feeling down, whenever I started like really going in my business, and something had happened. I remember telling my coach, "Oh my goodness, this happened," and she says, "You know, I understand where you are, but just know that you have the power to change it." And so, if you're, and one other point that he brought out is if you're going to quit something, quit trying to go lower in order to move higher. Right. So, you want to make sure that you're elevating, right? You want to make sure that you're actually elevating. Um, Here we go. The number one reason people don't achieve their goals is because they don't imagine anything big and high enough to change their lives. So, this is where exposure is really important, right? Um, I love it. I love it. Exposure is really important. You want to make sure that if you want to achieve big goals, you have to get exposed to something that is greater. That is just something that I love um, doing. That's just something I love to do is being in the room. Today I was on in a circle that had an in-person meeting, but to hear the stories, to hear the testimonies of, hey, I almost quit, but because I was listening to your, like, just because I listened to your teaching, I was able to make this much in a day, or I was able to make this much in a sale. So if you want to change, like, just know that you can create something different, and it does start within your mind. And know this is that the whatever you focus on will expand. That is true. Whatever you focus on will expand, meaning if you focus on lack, that's what's going to expand. Notice that when Adam and Eve, whenever they focus on what they couldn't eat, right, then they got kicked out of the whole garden. That is crazy because you focus on lack. One of the things too, that my mentor said is that he said, if you, like, if you focus on what your spouse is not, if you focus on what your job is not, if you're only focusing on what your job lacks, what your spouse lacks, like if you're only focused on that, then you're not going to keep it long, right? You're not going to keep it longer. And so, in order to have something appreciate and value, you have to appreciate it, right? And I'm not saying you don't point out things that you see, but if that's the only thing that you focus on, if that's your sole focus is where somebody lacks, and that's not good, right? That's not good at all. That doesn't help the relationship. That doesn't build. That doesn't really build a bridge. What it does is it separates and it expands, because that's the main thing that you're focused on. It is your decisions, not your conditions, that shape the future outcome of your life. And so you have to know that your decisions, right? And here's something that we're not doing. We're not like money shaming, right? Here's the thing. Everybody, I've seen it. People who have made great money decisions, poor money decisions, and great money decisions, right? You have to know that decisions can always be changed, right? They don't have to connect to your identity. And so we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. And here's something else that I've heard too is that, and what's in this book is that money is a symbol of value you create for others. Um, Service to masses leads to greatness and financial rewards. And so this is, I love this. Um, a lifelong student, the more you learn, the more you earn. We talked about that. Skills multiply and accelerate your productivity. And so understand that everyone has a certain lever. What's a lever, right? A lever is something you can move with little force, and that can cause the biggest um change within your business. And so when people say grow and scale or leverage, right, what they're meaning is that you can leverage your time. What does it mean to leverage your time? Well, that means maybe hiring somebody to do something that you can spend your time otherwise doing, right? Um, when supply is limited, value increases. If you want the best pay, be the best at what you do. The shortcut to creating wealth and living your dreams is through relationships. So, my husband always says this is people who are like, hey, I don't do people, right? Okay, well, the wealthy, they understand that relationships are important. Like, relationships are important just for the key to life, right? And understand that God said in the beginning, it is not good for man to be alone, right? He's put that on the inside of us to have relationship. Relationship is really important. Relationships are your greatest leverage. Understand this. This is also in here. Money is neither a miracle nor a mystery. Money is simply a reward for solving problems and meeting the needs of others. Big problems mean big rewards. Run confidently towards them. People are like doors. They help you move from one season to another, one level to another, one relationship to another. So there was one message that my husband preached on, talking about, ooh, I forget what it was. Hubby, I don't know if you're listening, but can you put that? The principle of setup. Ooh, he used to like go over all these principles. I love it. I believe it was the principle of setup that sometimes you don't know. God may have you going to a grocery store at 11 a.m. and you may make a business deal, right? You may go somewhere, and it's the principle of setup. So understand, there was a shirt that I saw that said, whatever room that you walk in like God sent you. So wherever you go, right, you have to go in like God sent you. Go in confidently. Here's something too, is that it's just important. Store resources in your opportunity barn. When the timing is right, empty the barn into an asset producing vehicle. Now, I am seeing a lot of memes and TikToks that are like, what you got to do is go ahead and, don't order Uber Eats. Take that $20 and buy a G Wagon. Then take the G Wagon, put it in the LLC, and then buy a mortgage. And it was, they have all that stuff out there. That's just hilarious, right? Which is true, right? I know people are like, okay, so I just go and buy a house. Now, again, I'm not a real estate property investor at all. So I can tell you that, yes, we own a home, but I'm not into real estate property. I just know how it works as far as taxes, right? How you could say taxes in some of those arenas. But the thing is that asset producing, right? So what are some of the asset producing things that you can start in? Again, I mentioned this before, but you can look into stock, you can look into real estate, and you can look into owning like a side hustle or a business. Those are going to be some of the asset producing vehicles. I know that you may not be able just to go out and get a credit and buy a home and say, all right, let's do rental income, right? There's a lot of things that you have to learn within the process. But if you can start off somewhere, right? Side hustle, investing into stocks or the market somehow, or what was the other one? Oh, real estate. Those are going to be some of your opportunities to go ahead and build some type of cash flow. So live in the future today, elevate your value, right? Make sure that you multiply your income and you pay yourself. And another thing is to get rid of bad debt, right? What is bad debt? Bad debt is consumer debt. That's the debt that doesn't help you build a business. It's just debt that is consumering. So, meaning credit card debt, just to buy things that you consume and they just disappear. Yeah. So, that's the thing. One other thing, too, is that I know people talk about multiple streams of income, but what I like to look at is that if you do have a business or a stream of income that you are building, treat it like a baby, right? Right. You want to make sure that in the beginning you take very special care of it, right? And then as it's able to be strong enough, as you put the systems in, as you put different things in that can help the business sustain, then you're able to look at other ventures on how to multiply that income. So it is all about, hey, how to make it, how to manage it, and how to multiply it. So hope you all have a great one, and I hope you enjoy this again. This is called Financial Fast Track: How to Experience Abundance and Accelerate Results and Eliminate Bad Debt, right? So this is a great book by Dr. Keith Johnson. I hope y'all have a blessed one.